Well, hello there. I am Buck, and this is Shop Talk with Buck. Welcome to my shop. Today, it's Friday. I missed last week. Uh, you have, I don't know, you have projects you get in your mind that you want to do, little old projects. Still got something I'd like to do, and at some point I will, because I think it would help woodworkers in general. I was wanting to do a tapered, sliding dovetail. You know, it's fine, but typically it winds up loose. But what I like is a tapered sliding dovetail. You've got a taper to it, and the last half inch or so tightens up, and you drive it that last half inch, and it's a good tight fit. And you have dovetail action. A lot of times when they did the sliding dovetail or tapering dovetail, they never would use any glue. They just drive together and they're call it finish and go on. For instance, you would see them in let's say you was attaching skirts to the legs. You would see some there, or the skirts it would run down. In other words, typically you'd have a leg. Most of the time they'll put a pommel right here. That's what that is. And they would do a sliding dovetail for the skirt going in different directions. And what would happen, the leg on the other side would receive the skirt and have a sliding dovetail, tapered dovetail, and around. And in the center, depending on how long it was, they would put 2 or 3 or whatever the case might be, stretch it across the skirts, and then tie it all together with taper and sliding dovetails. So I really wanted to show that to you. I just hadn't worked it out. This and that and this and that. And of course, it's the holiday season. Of course, that eats up some of your time. But I did do do a Christmas tree out of this wood here with the measurements I gave. You get a big one and a small one. And then the next one, what I did, I made a Christmas ornament that hangs inside of a tree, which a miniature Christmas tree is inside the ornament. So it's a tree with an ornament and a tree inside the ornament. Ornament in the tree and a tree in the ornament, if that makes any sense. But this is a small here. I'm thinking about just turning a snowman, something like that, and just attach it to the bottom. That's what I'm thinking about right there. So that was a lot of fun. Kind of messed the first. It's been a long time since I turned it. Well, it's been a while since I've been on the lathe. I really like to do more lathe work than I've been doing. But when I do a lathe project, the views are way down. So the people that watch me now really don't care nothing about the lathe. That's what it's telling me. Oh, yeah, you always have some. But lathe's a lot of fun. But it is something, and joinery and woodworking, and it's the same thing. But well, if you're cutting dovetails, you need to stay in practice. I mean, because it's the more you do, the better you get. But on a lathe, it's so technique. When you're coming around through there, you got 4 motions you're doing at the same time, and it's a technique. And you got to stay in practice. Between the holidays, and it just, I don't know, it's cutting down my time. I enjoy it down here. I enjoy talking to y'all. And it really doesn't matter what I'm doing. I see a lot of times people that do their channel is nothing but lathe work. Well, they wouldn't. Some of them have a bandsaw. That helps them turning bolts and stuff. But that'd be all it had. They wouldn't have nothing else. Then I've seen the ones that do joinery, you know, that cuts a lot of dovetails. They ain't got no time for the lathe. And none of those has time for CNC. I like it all. There's not enough hours in a day to do it all. But I like it all. So I'm going to try something right here. I got a new camera right here, and I'm kind of controlling it with my iPad. But if I hit that button right there, that should have me in focus. See, it doesn't have autofocus. I just wonder what this looks like. But that's a little test. But I was wanting to chime in here. This is Friday, the end of the week. It's a rainy week. Of course, we needed the rain. Really, we did. I have seen, in my life, some dry weather to the point where you're getting concerned. They had a little backhoe service. We did a little everything. And this Goose Club, they were going to dig in some blinds, and they picked out a good time of the year to do it. It's one of them times that it was super dry. You dig beside a tree, and the trees done sucked the moisture out of the ground so hard I thought I was digging concrete. But anyway, this Geese Club, they was in the Cumberland River bottom. You could see the Cumberland River. And I think I dug 5 of them in this great big old farm. Well, anyway, I was digging the last one in, and it was 32 feet long, 16 feet wide. I think it was 6 foot deep. And they was going to install these big tanks that's been modified. So I got them all dug, and it was dry. Golly bum, it's dry. And I got every one I done, I was getting closer to the river. I didn't get close to the river. I was probably, I don't know, 100 yards from the river bank. It's the closest one, but you could see the river right there, just 100 yards away. I remember I dug this whole thing out, and I pulled that last bucket out, and I dumped it out, and the dust just boiled. So I'm 6 foot deep in the river bottom. I could see the river, and it was dusty. It was just hardly any moisture in it at all. That's the driest I've ever seen it, and that has been, son, that was, 86, 85, 1985. I was working up around the Clarksville, Guthrie, Kentucky area, and it was dry. It was real dry. And so I always like seeing rain, because, man, when it gets too dry, it gets tough. The wells go dry and this, that, and the other. But anyway, I don't know. When I come down here to talk to y'all, I was going to talk about my Christmas tree ornament in a Christmas tree that's got a Christmas tree in it. Now, I was going to talk about this deal about the digging geese blinds. I didn't plan on doing it. They just come to me. I don't know if y'all want to hear all that or not, but it is, oh man, I don't know, it was dry, but now it got me thinking about it. It's been raining, and I think it was sleeting a little last night. Didn't accumulate or anything, but just, it says it's 41 degrees. It's a cold 41. I don't know. I don't know. It's cold. I guess it's much moisture. But anyway. Well, I thought I would, see, if I walk back there, I'm just wondering if I hit that button right there on this iPad, would I be in focus when I come over here? I may have to do this whole thing again. I'm not much on take 2s and take 3s, so I try my best to get it in one take. I just liable to chase another rabbit and talk about something completely different. I don't know. Well, anyway, I think we're going to do some tapering, sliding dovetails. What I wanted to do is show it to you how we can do it on a router table and a handheld router. Of course, one half, you use the handheld router. The other half, you use the router table. Because a lot of times, if you got a big table or a case, you're doing a bookcase, that's real good to put tapering, sliding dovetails in it. Because what it'll do, you put it all together. Like a bookcase, you load it up with books and whatnot, it'll want to bow out, and them dovetails will hold her in there and keep it from doing that. So you'd have to use a handheld neck. It'd be hard to get all of that over on the router table, but you can take the ends. And then also I wanted to do a set with nothing but hand tools and show you how that's done. If you got this little table and stuff like that, man, it really doesn't take long once you get into it. But when I show y'all, of course it takes longer because I'm trying to show y'all. But if you're out here just doing it, a lot of this stuff, it doesn't really take that long. But sometimes I like it quiet and all you can hear is the handsaw. And other times I'll fire this equipment up and make the racket and let the sawdust fly. So it depends on what, I know I've said it before. When I was working, the last big part of my career, it was a lot of mental. You're thinking and directing and planning and all that kind of stuff. So you come in and just be wore out, be agitated, because you really ain't done anything. But I'd get me a hand plane, get that blade good and sharp, get me some white pine, pull off some real thin layers, and just them shaves come off fire and it'll just float to the ground. You just, that sound and everything, that plane going through the wood, it's therapeutic. It just, after a while, that stress, it just melts away. So if y'all get real stressful, you got a good hand plane, get that blade sharp, get you a piece of white pine, and just, yeah, that stress just melts away. Well, that's going to do me on this one. I appreciate you joining in. Every once in a while, I like just have a conversation. So, but I always try to end with a safety. You need to be safe because you need to think about something. If what you're working with, whether it's hand tools or a mechanized tool, with the router or table saw or bandsaw, if it will cut wood, it will cut you. Be mindful. Have 100% concentration at all times. Keep them digits because you might need them. So y'all be safe, and I'll catch you on the next one. I hope that worked. We'll go see if it did.